and welcome to another edition of the Wake Up Late with Dougie show. I am your host, Dougie Almeida, and I'm joined today by two friends and special guest comedians, Mr. Neil Rubenstein and Brandon Vestal. What's up, fellas?
Nothing. Literally nothing.
I know, I feel bad. But just sitting around. I ask people to come do the podcast. Hey, free Tuesday? Yeah, what do you want? Yeah, okay. Yeah, no problem. I'm free.
yeah. I'm always free.
I'm always free. That's it.
Now you are, Neil. You are in New York, basically.
Yeah.
So things are, they're finally getting. I guess you guys in New York can now have movies. You can go see movies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
but there's really not a big. We aren't really starting to see a lot of comedy shows yet, right?
No, I mean, I'm still, they're still pretty much locked down. I think 33% capacity starting in April or something like that, but I'm not counting on that for
Why? Why
a
should
while. Yeah.
until that guy gets impeached as your governor and you lose De Blasio?
Ugh.
Speaking of bad governed states, Brandon, in California, in LA.
Number one bad governed state. Well, maybe number two.
Yeah, we're pretty bad.
Yeah, I think New York takes it, but yeah, we're nipping at their heels.
Has it ever been more evident by the amount of people that are leaving your state? Like I'm moving out of Florida, and I'm thankful because my house price. I mean, I had a conversation with my realtor today, and they're like, "Whatever you offer, they're going to bid up." So that's how it's going. And I'm like, and then of course I'm getting remorse. I'm like, well, what if we would imagine? I'm going to be one of those guys in 5 years where I could have sold my house for double if I had just waited. If I just waited. Now, do you own in LA where you stay now? You rent?
No.
Yeah.
We rent. Yeah.
You got a lot of bums outside. You got a lot of homeless around.
They're getting closer. I can tell you that. Yeah, they're closing in. It's getting weird, no doubt.
That's what Jimmy Schubert had said. He moved from Cali to South Florida back in November, and he says, "Yeah, I had a great apartment. I was paying all this rent and all these things, and I had a homeless housing unit. Just down the street, there was a bunch of homeless and camps.
Yeah, they tried to put one literally at the end of our block, but people raised a lot of hell about it. But it's out of control. Yeah.
Are you the kind of guy who raises hell, Brandon?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah,
not really.
I didn't see you at the front of that line.
I'm not at the front of a lot of lines. I don't carry signs. I just, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a microphone for like 15 to 16 years now, and no one's listening to me. So I don't think I need to go to the line.
Yeah, right. That's a good point. Neil, how are you? I mean, now you're in New York.
Yeah.
You've been there a long time. You ever think about leaving?
Yeah, I think about it all the time, man. I wish.
Listen, New York must suck because before the show you were talking about trying to talk your wife into moving to Oklahoma. Which, if you're leaving New York to go to Oklahoma, I mean, fucking how bad? Like, I'm maybe concerned. It really made me concerned for where I was born, which is New York.
I remember my a couple of years ago, they were my wife. They the Bobs basically from Office Space came to my wife's job, and they were trying to downsize everything. And they were like, yeah, they got bought by a company in Ohio. And as soon as she said that, I just started packing my stuff. Like, all right, we're moving to Ohio, cool. And she's like, no, we're not. I was like, damn it. I'm ready to go anywhere. I'll go literally anywhere.
So you kind of had it. Is it basically because of the recent occurrences, or are you just pretty much tired of New York?
It's been they nickel and dime you. You literally can't afford to live here. I don't know. I don't know how anyone does it. It's nurses and teachers drive Ubers on the weekend. You know what I mean? Like you can't. Like if those guys can't make it, how am I supposed to? I can't make it. I don't know.
That's definitely a sign that things aren't going that well, right? Like,
yeah.
In other words, if you have a professional job, you needed a 4-year degree for, and the only way that you can get over on the bills of the month is if you get behind the wheel and start driving Uber, right?
Yeah, everyone's got a side hustle. Everyone's doing, making cookies or bread or doing something on Etsy. It's like
I'm selling a ton of cocaine.
Yeah, there you go.
A ton of it. It's a good market right now.
I'd imagine, dude. You're not a drug guy, You and I actually, speaking of Oklahoma, isn't that where you and I met with Looney Bin when I opened for you? I think
Yeah.
it was Looney Bins in Oklahoma.
We went to Tulsa. Yeah, I'm from Oklahoma though. Yeah.
Yeah, and there. So, but yeah, he's a pretty straight laced guy too. Now you have family, right? You have family, right, Brandon?
Yep. Yep. They're gonna come charging in here in a minute. I told them to be quiet, so we'll see.
Oh, that's
See what
interesting.
happens. Yeah. I got a little boy, 5. A wife, older than 5.
I'd hope.
Yeah.
That's a funny joke. Actually, say I have a child who's 5. I got a wife who's 9. I've been down to Epstein's Island.
We're done though. One and done. That's it.
One wife and done, or
huh? One wife and done.
Yeah.
One wife with a ton of girlfriends. It's all good.
The wife's buried out back.
Yeah, she's super cool.
Yeah, she doesn't yell much.
Yeah.
Doesn't make
well, she might. She's just a quiet talker, like on that Seinfeld episode. That's my wife. So we might fight all the time. I just don't know.
That's not bad, right?
Yeah.
If you get in an argument with a woman who can't speak, are you really arguing? Now you're staying there, right? You're not leaving LA, are you?
No plans. My wife works at Disney.
Yeah,
so
they're reopening that, or she just works for like the productions and the main corporate.
She's in some sort of business analyst something. I don't understand any of it.
Don't lie. She's Minnie Mouse.
Yeah.
She's Donald Duck's girlfriend or something.
She's head security.
Might be a fiduciary.
5'2".
Yeah. Is she a fiduciary? Like me. Well, that's good, man. I'm glad you guys are sticking in there. And I really hope you get to move to your dream location, Oklahoma City, there at some point.
That's pretty easy to make happen, actually. So, I mean, that's an attainable dream.
Yeah, I guess
very attainable.
My wife's sitting right here, shaking her head no at me.
Yeah. Oh, well, she's a smart woman. I mean, I just want to go to Oklahoma City. What's next? Cleveland. If we can't do that, we got to go to Cleveland or Detroit. Speaking of living it up, I don't know if you guys followed the story about Meghan Markle, right, who married Prince Harry, right, or Prince Harry. A lot of talk about that. I don't know if you guys follow that much. I mean, my family is basically we're from the Rock of Gibraltar, so it's British. So I follow the Queen and all that shit. And but Harry was the youngest of Princess Di's sons, right? This guy was a helicopter pilot for the Royal Navy during the Gulf War. He's just not sitting there polishing his throne. This guy was out there. And I always felt this guy was a little weird. I always knew this guy was going to leave somehow. And I mean, this is 2 decades ago. I called it because I think this guy, I always thought this guy was the Antichrist or towards the dark side of the Illuminati. I think he was pulled away from the royal family and being influenced by that side. Care to comment, Neil?
When he was 10 years old?
Yeah. Exactly. They said, "Hey, boy, put that soccer ball down and get over here."
Okay.
You want to join the Illuminati?
Did he flew missions during the Gulf War?
I believe they call them sorties. Yeah, he was a helicopter pilot. He used to fly the TAC helicopters. So he actually flew, and it wasn't like he was flying around refueling the helicopters.
He flew in actual combat.
Yeah, he actually did. And there was actually a story. If you think back to I remember there's a story. There was something happened. I don't know. He jumped out of his helicopter and saved a family of 5 Iraqis who were also dreaming to live in Oklahoma. Oddly enough, but
was he wearing his Nazi uniform when he did it?
Yeah, that's right. Remember back in history, they caught him at a party where he was wearing a
Nazi
uniform,
the full thing, the full outfit.
And like, isn't the other people in that photo like one's in blackface and one's in a KKK robe?
Are they really?
I think so. Like, I think the photo is like the craziest photo. I'm making it up. Maybe I'm making it up.
Oh, yeah. I think I'd see that photo before. I think they'd come up.
Yeah, I just remember he was with somebody, and bringing up Prince Harry. Also, you remember not too long before this all happened, he was in Vegas having like a great drug-fested party in one of the Vegas penthouses.
Yeah, he's running around naked, right?
Yeah,
actually in the halls of the hotel.
Yeah. Can you imagine you're running down the hallway in your hotel in Vegas, you see Prince Harry in full Monty?
Are you naked too when you see him?
I'm going to get naked at that point. I don't care.
That would be crazy. The one night you pick to run down the hall naked in Vegas, you run into a naked Prince Harry.
we're both drinking at the same time.
That's
I
good
think The
shit.
Hangover is written based on that story. I think.
Oh, was it? He was. I mean, this guy has been all over the place. So that's what I'm saying. It's not like I just made up these conspiracy theories. I think the guy is basically known, or he's got some issues. But if you follow the story, he married Meghan Markle, who was a famous game show person. I guess she was on Deal or No Deal. She used to hold the suitcase, and I don't know if you guys and you're obviously your wife is sitting near you, Neil, and you may answer these questions differently. But have you ever done something really stupid over a pussy? Like, in other words, like have you ever been that engulfed? Have you ever been involved in it that much that you would just could you imagine being part of the royal family and the vagina being so good you're like, no, I'm done with
Yeah,
you.
I've never left royalty to be with a woman. That's definitely.
No, me neither. I've never had the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. No woman ever made you do something really stupid, like you thought.
Yeah, one of them made me move to LA and have a kid.
She's obviously not in the room.
One of them's keeping me from moving to Oklahoma right now.
Yeah, you guys need listen. Blink twice if you guys keep being kept captive. But there's a lot of talk about how the royal family, I guess, in this interview with Oprah Winfrey, that they're basically they had to come back and back with it, but they were saying that some of the royal family were concerned at how the shade of the baby would be, right? Like the little kid, I forgot his name now.
Archie.
Archie, yeah.
Can't believe I know that. I'm ashamed that I know that.
Just because I just read it.
I heard it on the radio today, but still, I shouldn't know that. That's ridiculous.
Are you guys concerned about Archie's skin tone?
Not only am I not concerned about his skin tone, I'm not concerned about him at all.
Yeah, I don't.
I could not give less of a shit about these people.
Really?
Yeah, I assume that once this is over, I'll forget everything about all those people.
Yeah.
Like I don't. Kathleen my wife the other day was like gonna watch the Oprah thing, and I was like, wow, I couldn't give any less of a crap about any of these people. I'm not. None of the people
But
in that
I'm not
conversation
surprised
interest
either.
me at all.
A lot of views. A lot of people watched that.
Yeah, good.
Everybody had more ratings than the Globes, and actually, I think we have more people watching us now than they're watching the Globes. But
did you watch that? That was a nightmare.
No, I didn't. I've given up. I will not watch any of those ridiculous shows ever again.
That was bad.
Yeah, they're hard to pull off. Like the late night shows too. There's like the way they're doing them. It's rough. It's rough.
Is late night TV kind of dead? I think it's dead. Back years ago they were saying rock is dead. I think late night TV is dead. I think the talk shows have had it. Their main muse of entertainment and joke writing is no longer in the White House, and now they're sitting there going, "What do we do now?" We were calling it right as a comic. You're like, if you want, I watched the late. I don't care what show it was. Every fucking joke on the monologue was all Trump, and that's great. But I'm like, what else? There's got to be something else to make fun of at this point.
Yeah.
Someone told me the story. They overheard two girls on the subway talking, and one was like, "Oh, I slept with this stand-up comedian the other day," and they're like, "Oh, is he famous?" And she was like, "Well, he was on Fallon," and the other girl was like, "Who even watches that anymore?" And it's like, oh yeah, good. That's a good point.
They watch the clips. They watch a clip in the morning on YouTube of the show.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's it.
Well, I want to find out more about who's the girl who slept with Pete Lee.
I'm like pretty sure it was Mark Norman.
Congratulations to Pete Lee. I think he's going to have his eighth appearance on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Yeah, I think he mentioned it. But listen, that was the big thing. Right now, it's about what? YouTube, TikTok followers. You guys are on TikTok?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok.
Yeah, I got on there. I think I have 8 followers.
Yeah, I got like 20. I got like 25 followers, and I keep seeing friends on Facebook. Oh, I just hit the 10,000. I hit the 20,000.
Yeah, people would like post one video of her comics, and they wake up to 100,000 followers. Yeah.
I got lucky. I had a couple of videos go pretty big. I have one that's like close to 3 million.
Nice. Holy shit. And then how long is the video? Is that, well, I guess
it's 30 seconds. Yeah.
Okay. Because that's what I try to put like little clips on there with little stupid, little extras you can throw on it and try to get some traction. I think my biggest video has like 4,800 views. That's
Oh,
it.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I
that's
haven't even checked it because it's so embarrassing.
I know.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, the unfortunate truth is that like it's a viable it's a viable means to both revenue and viewership.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's legit.
yeah,
It's
like
just
I've seen people thrive just from the pandemic, thrive and become like hard ticket, actual be able to sell rooms because they're at 500,000 followers on TikTok, and it's like, well, I mean that's the goal, right? I just want to be able to, still have
yeah.
the
Oh,
Looney
yeah.
Bins, right?
And you
So
get paid. I guess you get paid if you get over
at
10,000.
10,000 you can monetize,
Yeah.
or if
At
you choose
10,000
not to
what?
monetize, like
10,000
Followers.
followers or
yeah,
views?
10,000 followers you can monetize. But if you choose not to, like, I mean, I sell T-shirts and stuff, and I did so like when the first video like really popped for me, I did like a quick follow up, like, hey, thanks for following. Where are you guys from? And do you go see stand up comedy? And I got like 400 responses to that, being like, you know, Peoria, Illinois, definitely would love to see you, and like that kind of thing.
Right.
So, I mean, that's better than Instagram's ever done for me, or whatever.
Yeah. Well, now I'm just more upset that I've gotten nothing from it yet.
Yeah, and once you figure TikTok out, there'll be some new thing that
Yeah, for sure. Clubhouse
that
or
you
whatever.
suck at.
Yeah.
Yeah, now let me ask you guys, as comics, do you feel like you always feel like you're doing enough? Do you always feel, don't you feel like there's so much shit I could be doing, I should be doing?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't do any of it, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, you listen, you got an album, right? Brandon, you got a comedy album out, right? Or two? Don't you have more than one maybe?
Yeah, a couple albums, and I did a dry bar special, which
That's huge.
helped a lot, actually.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, I actually had my best year coming. 2020 was my most booked and most lucrative year, and just like everybody else, but that sucked.
Yeah.
But starting to come back.
You got an album, Neil?
I have a 7-inch EP.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, congrats. Don't be bragging. I mean,
yeah, my goodness.
I wasn't going to talk about that kind of shit. Yeah,
Yeah, that's average in Oklahoma, though. It's average.
Yeah, in Oklahoma, that's nothing. That's a micro penis. That's nothing. Yeah, I still haven't. That's my thing. I still haven't done mine. Somebody asked me. I'm like, I have the title of it, and I know. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing until I get the solid hour that I want to put on on an album and say it's over. Move on.
Say it's over.
Until that, I'll just keep using the same jokes.
I also don't believe in burnt material at this point either, because like you're not performing to the same people. You know what I mean? Like no one's coming twice. Like you can tell those jokes.
I know. I mean, as a touring comic, you don't have to worry about that, right? But if you perform in the same city all the time, your own city, then you have to worry about the same people coming to see you. How important is turning over material, Brandon?
I'm slow. I'm very slow. So but I got a chance to meet Brian Regan a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about it, and I asked him that because that's my big thing. Like, do I do the stuff from the dry bars? I mean, it's got a lot of views, but people haven't seen that thing, And he said he's cool with doing 60% of stuff he just did on a special. Yeah. Until he slowly just works it out naturally and replaces it all. But he's like, I don't care if 60% of the audience knows a bit. I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I thought it would be. Yeah. I always thought, you're done with your hour and then you start over. But it's hard to do when you don't have as much, stage time as these guys.
Yeah, because there are people that I see them every year. They have a whole nother hour, like Brian Callen. There's guys that are just amazing.
Yeah, there's guys that can do it, and I'm impressed.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's the most impressive aspect of some comics, that they can just come to them.
But they're also doing it like, I'm not trying to make excuses, but we all have to worry about rent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you don't have to worry about like the stress of everyday life, it becomes a little easier to just make sure I write material 8 hours a day. You know, like I would
Mhm.
love to be in that position, but can't. I mean,
I've had somebody say that to me because I would, I am a fiduciary, so I have my duties, during the day, so I have my fiduciary duties. So
It's a terrible name for something.
I love it, the funny fiduciary. I don't, and but there's times that I wish I could spend. I wish I can wake up thinking funny to go in bed thinking trying to funny
yeah,
and check all this shit. But one of my mentors says to me, he goes, "Yeah, but here's the thing: if you didn't have what you had, right, then you wouldn't have the freedom to be able to tour as you're doing and go all these places, take shittier gigs just to get stage.
right.
There's a balance that we all have to understand or feel good about." Um, Now, speaking of that, just since we're on that subject, minimum wage is a big discussion. $15 an hour. Have you ever worked for minimum wage, Neil?
Uh, Probably.
Yeah. How'd you
I
get
mean,
off it? Did you get off it? Did you just quit working? Say, I'm worth more. Or did you figure out a way to get paid more?
yeah, no, I always just wanted to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So like very young, I just started touring as like in with rock bands and stuff, and I just didn't. I wasn't gonna work. I'm not working for someone else
Yeah.
unless it's something I really want. I'm not sweeping. You know what I mean? Unless it's like something that I want to be sweeping up. You know what I'm saying? Well, does that?
I'll sweep money. Can I sweep up loose
Yeah,
money? Yeah.
like if it's my club, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I care about this club, I'll sweep up this club. But I'm not sweeping for 7.25 an hour. I'll tell you that. You know.
Yeah. How about you? When's the last time you made minimum wage, Brandon?
High school at grocery store. It was 4.25. When I left, it was 4.75. I worked my way up.
Wow. Look at you,
4.75.
Mr. Wall Street.
Yeah, Mr. Fiduciary right here.
Oh, shit. You got a 401k with that
It
job?
was very easy to manage 4.75. The portfolio was very manageable.
Yeah, I mean, people keep talking about that, and my point in a conversation with somebody recently was, I'm not the, I wouldn't. It's not the minimum wage because trying to live off minimum wage is it's like it's like trying to pole vault weighing 400 pounds. It's not something that is expected to be done. And if anything, minimum wage has always been a starter thing for me. So I'm more concerned about advancement. I'm more concerned about having the ability to be seen and advance. And because like you, Neil, like I mean, I worked in the grocery store like you. I was fortunate that our soccer coach in high school was the manager of the store. So I got paid like stock money when I was bagging groceries. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So I was,
privilege.
yeah, privileged.
Privilege. Soccer privilege.
Soccer privilege. That's a new thing that there's going to be a cancel culture over. Um, you know, and but what I'm saying. And then, but I think my last job was working for American Express, where actually you got to go in for time, like you get paid by the hour. But I've always been a producer. I've always been the kind of person that was in sales, or I made as much as I wanted to make. I never, it was based on what I could do. So, little concerning about the $15 an hour.
It's
When they
just
say the $15, they say, does that mean like you're gonna get $15 an hour in some little town in Oklahoma?
Well, that's what
yeah,
a lot of people. That's why I got kicked out of the recent bailout plan was because there's the standard of living in Oklahoma. Obviously, like you can have a 4-bedroom house, 4-bedroom, 3-bath house in Oklahoma. What, like $40 a month?
yeah,
My parents pay less than I pay for their mortgage for this
Yeah.
place.
I mean, like I'm going to be leaving South Florida, moving to Greenville, South Carolina. So that's a big difference. It's about 30. It's like a 40% difference in cost of living, if not, even from
yeah,
Florida. So, you're right. So why somebody making $15 an hour in West Virginia somewhere is killing it. You know,
yeah. It's such a tough topic because it's like in certain places, it's ridiculous to think that you can work a 40-hour work week and still be in squalor. You know, and that shouldn't be the burden of a small business to make sure that that's not the case.
Yeah, that's the thing. Won't the small businesses go kapluk in most places?
well, small businesses will hire robots and they'll hire less people and there'll be more
Yeah,
flex time. And, that's the thing. You try to, the problem with a lot of these so called, ways to help the little man, it's a little man thinking small. or a little person thinking small and not coming up with a real solution. Like I said, instead of minimum wage or raising it up there, let's make. We need to have two things happen. A, you need to have people that are worth something. If you've ever tried to hire somebody to do a remedial job somewhere, we tried to hire an assistant in our financial planning office, and this, oh, I went to school, I went to this college, couldn't even answer a phone, you know, couldn't even properly take a message. All right, yeah, whatever, I'm like, really, that's how you're going to talk? So, it was just crazy. It's like healthcare. We worry about making sure everybody has healthcare, but we are the most unhealthy country in the fucking world. We need to get healthier. Otherwise, don't complain about the cost of healthcare because we're all out of shape, and we're all fucked up. Well, Brandon's a
Yeah,
good.
but barbecue is delicious.
I mean,
Yeah, but the
So what are
things
you gonna
don't
do about
need to be
that?
the cost that the things are. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they. It's this is we're not. I mean,
spit it out, Neil. Share your thoughts, man. Um,
I don't know, man. The government needs to the government needs to take better care of its people. Is the bottom line, in my opinion.
hmm,
You know, and
yeah,
and stop. I think this idea, like the working class defends billionaires for some reason, and it's like they don't care about you at all. Like they want to pay you less. They want to pay you less hours. They want you to work harder and for cheaper. And then
mm,
we're like, oh well, you can't tax them because then no, you can't. Have them contribute. Let them contribute, and we'll all be better off for it.
yeah. Well, the wealth tax will flop. If you heard, is hoping that that's going to flop. But they should come with some estate tax. As a fiduciary, I take. I don't mind that because I'll start selling a lot more life insurance. People have to start paying estate tax when they die. I'm going to be selling $10 million life insurance
It,
policies.
it's just
Uh,
crazy that like in California, there's an inventory tax for small businesses, but you know, Amazon or Trump can hide their money offshore, and no one is like, oh yeah, it's fine. I don't know. It's just crazy to me. I don't know.
mm, yeah, Trump doesn't have any inventory of anything. Um,
I'm sure.
um, well, who got it right, fellas? You guys are both in states that shut down. People are criticizing the states that were open, and everybody.
Not us. We didn't get it right. Not us.
Well, it's a wonder. Like anytime something happens, regardless of our ideology or whatever it is, you got to look back at the results, right? Like that's all I'm thinking about. Like it was all unprecedented when it happened. So to judge what somebody does is a little, who knows?
Yeah.
I'm taking a shot at it, and I'm never gonna, I hate second guessers. I hate critics of people who make decisions, right? Because sometimes making a decision is very difficult.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that can't make that goddamn decision, but they'll be the first ones to criticize you for making a decision when they can't make it themselves. So who got it right?
I,
Maybe.
yeah, I think it's like a little of column A and column B, man. Like I think New York and California had the right idea at first, like with a drastic, like let's make sure that the hospitals don't get overwhelmed. But then as soon as whatever they said, they were like, oh, we'll flatten the curve. And then once the curve was flat, they should have done what Florida did or what Texas is doing now, where it's like, all right, let's get back to life. Like
Yep.
if you're scared and I'm scared, if you're scared, stay home.
Well,
If
this is
you're
what.
scared, wear a mask. If you're scared, I mean, me and you were in Vegas together. I was scared, but I still have to get on with my life. You know what I mean? I wore a mask. I stayed away from people, and I didn't catch it.
That's the thing. That's the fine line between a government having to tell you to do something or common sense. And as a Darwinian, a person who believes in Darwinianisms, I would believe that those who don't make the proper decisions and get out there and die and do stupid shit, that's a lot of times that's the things they're going to do. And and the ones who don't, like, I had COVID and stuff like that, but like, like now the mask mandate thing is, people say, how could you take away a mask mandate? Listen, because there's so many people that don't, like, technically I don't have to wear a mask because I've had it and I've got the T cell. So like, you know what I mean? If I don't want to wear it, I wear it because, I don't want to piss anybody off. But at the same time, if it's mandated, I'm wearing it because the government tells me I got to wear it. But if I typically didn't have to wear it, then I won't wear it. And if somebody comes up to me and says, hey, put on your mask, I could go fuck yourself. Worry about yourself or walk away from me. I'm really against these people that walk up to people that are mad that they're not wearing a mask, yet they will come in close contact with the person just to fucking. So in other words, if you're so concerned about your well-being, You shouldn't even come up to me. You should get the fuck away from me.
Get the fuck away from me.
You know, this is the contradiction in the logic, and that's why I feel those people should just die anyway. You know what I mean? Like fuck them. Like you should not. And that's it. End it. Let's fucking like Thanos. You know, fucking let's make some room. Let's make some fucking room. Anyway, I thought that was fun.
I agree. I agree. Like I got microchipped up on Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You got what?
Got the
I
microchip.
speak 4 new languages. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I've they said it was going to take a while to reboot. I didn't know what that meant. I was like, all right. I've been sick since I got it though.
Yeah.
So I'm like a little concerned. I'm like, am I supposed to?
Wait a minute. All right. So you're saying you got the vaccine?
Yeah.
Okay. Which one did you get?
Apple.
Apple.
Yeah, eye vaccine. Now
when I close my eyes, I hear music.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I close my eyes and it's like, did you want to?
I had to buy a new charger though. It was a different port.
I think it's the Moderna one.
He's got to keep plugging his ass into the recharge.
Yeah, they make you buy a new one. They designed it so you have to buy a new one.
Halfway through
you plug it in this way, and then it's like the other way, and then it turns out it was this way the whole time.
He's gonna keep breaking his own screen.
No, it's Moderna, I guess.
Moderna,
whatever the popular one. I don't know.
They said
the
that
2 one.
That's it. Yeah,
the 2 one. Yeah.
It said it helps your dick grow. That's good though.
Nah, very small.
Hey, you can get to Oklahoma.
8, 9. You're gonna be speaking German soon, Neil. 9. I got 9.
I hope.
That'd be nice. Well, for you and your wife, of course. I would have no interest or concern on that factual aspect. Well, good. So you got the first one?
Yeah.
Well, the second one's supposed to be even worse.
It's going to be bad for me. I'm like legit sick from it.
Yeah. How long ago did you get it?
I got it on Saturday. I'm like hacking up. I don't know if you're like seeing. I'm hitting mute because I'm like hacking up.
I'm worried. I'm like, I'm worried an alien's going to pop out of your fucking chest pretty soon.
I'm hiding them.
So, wow, yeah. I was wondering what that third arm growing out of your fucking forehead was. Would you get are you going to get vaccinated, Brandon?
Yeah, but I'm so far down on the list that I don't even think about it because yeah.
Now your kid's going to school. Is your son going to school?
Yeah, we've been lucky. We did consider because he's like he started when he was 2, and you go into elementary school. His birthday's in August, so he's right on that threshold of he was going to be the older kid. So we kept him back, and that's when COVID hit. So he's been in school the whole time, except for like a month when we went to Oklahoma. So we've been lucky out here, but most people are screwed.
Yeah, no, that's it. If you have kids, it's been a hard these kids.
We have till August because he has to go to the big school in August, so they need to get this shit straightened out because.
Yeah. You got to go to school. Listen, CDC already said it. Get back, open the schools. This is a generation of people that are just going to suffer. And it's not like our kids were that fucking bright in the first place.
Yeah, they're going to be about 10 years from now. They're going to be some dumb fucks running around.
Well, we've already seen in our culture, that with this lack of, let's say just disciplining kids, but basically trying to tell them, hey, you fucked up. It's like it seemed like a generation of people said, oh, you're fine. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Most parenting went through that. And somebody asked me, I have no kids. How come I know that? Well, I taught karate for years and I coached soccer, and it was the parents, that would just sit there and enable these kids for mediocrity. You know what I mean? It's like, I tell the story before. One time teaching karate class, these like 6-year-old kids are doing a wall drill. They're holding the wall and they're putting their leg out, and they're doing all the mechanics of a karate kick, and this one fat little kid, he pushes everybody, and they all, like 6 people fall and they're all trying to hold the wall. So I said, Billy, go over there and sit in the corner and look at the corner for 5 minutes. I don't disrupt my class. And his mother came up to me after, like, how dare you treat my son like that? And I go, that's what you saw? You saw me treating your son that way? You didn't see your son disrupt the class? You didn't see your son be disrespectful to his, like, what the fuck is wrong? You know what I mean? But that seems to be pretty rampant. And we're seeing more and more evidence of, people that make decisions as adults with that. Well, guys, it is that time, by the way. Time for the news is a joke. Let's hear it from the guys in the sound room. Yeah, this is where we tell stories from around the world and make fun of them. Last time I heard that on the show, they didn't even come out. Bisexual women with straight male partners are least likely to be out, he says. Did you ever date a bisexual woman?
Not that I know of.
Well, that's what their point is saying. If they are bisexual and they're dating a man, they'll kind of keep it to themselves, even though the guy's always like, come on, kiss her. Come on, kiss her.
Yeah. It's like a win-win for her.
Yeah. I mean, that's surprising to me. It's like, I mean, most guys would think that. Like, they all think our girlfriends want to be with a woman for us, you know? Have you ever had a threesome with a woman, Neil? Or two women?
I've done some things.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I'm proud of two of them.
Yeah.
I used to tour at rock bands.
So yeah, you've done. Yeah, that's part of the. That's part of the culture. That's part of the culture. You know, let me ask you this: when you did experience that bit of a lifestyle, did it kind of like make it difficult for the basic lifestyle of that to be as enjoyable? In other words, when you open Pandora's box and you start having orgies with all these girls and titties in your face and women, one woman on your fit and that buff. Once you're doing that, is it easier? Is it okay to have a relationship with just one woman?
Yeah, you have to hit me in the dick with a bat to get me to notice something is happening now.
That's the problem. It's the Pandora's box theory.
Yeah, it stopped working. It was like,
what do you do next? That's the thing. That's the thing. These guys.
That's the thing. It's the thing with all these like David Bowie bangs Mick Jagger. So he just got bored of women. Like it's just he's like, maybe I'll pee on someone. I don't know. What's next? I don't know.
That is the theory of why most gay men are great looking dudes, because they've done everything, right? They have done everything with a woman, two women, three. Like they've done everything. They're like, okay, what's left on the box to check off?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to lick a penis. Okay, let's try that. All right, I haven't tried it yet. I'm not gay. Look at me, I'm a pop star. I know you got other people there, Brandon, but you've been awfully quiet through this segment so far. But is that something?
I wish I had a story to tell you, but no.
Yeah, you've been pretty.
One maybe opportunity years ago, but I can't ever think that it's real. I think they're trying to steal a kidney or something. So I thought it was a setup.
And
I would never think it was real. So it would never happen for me.
You look like he's got some pretty good kidneys too. So
yeah, he does. Look at that thin body, and he's
too much true crime shows.
Yeah. Listen,
to take part in the threesome.
we had an epidemic of that shit happening here in South Beach area. These really hot women would find these guys, and they would pick, they'd find a guy who was, average, so they know that, the guy's thinking there he hit the jackpot, right? And he's like, oh yeah, and he goes home with him. Next thing you know, he wakes up in the haze, and his wallet's gone, watch, his Rolex is gone, all